Good morning. It's John's D&D vlog episode number 13. So today I'm going to not talk about D&D. I didn't talk about it last week either. If you look here in the back of Swords and Spells, right, and you look at the stuff that they had for sale at the time, right, there's a lot of stuff that wasn't D&D oriented. But one of the things on the list was this game here called Dungeon. And it was not quite the most expensive thing on the list. Empire of the Petal Throne was a little bit more, well, 2.5 times, but it was a board game called Dungeon. What Dungeon was they. So D&D is really a complex game, lots and lots and lots of rules, and it's made for people who want to play basically the same game for months or even years, and you get really into your characters, and it's a big, complex, ornate, long, drawn-out adventure, right? But some people don't want that. Some people just want to sit down at a table and do something fun for 45 minutes and then get up and walk away. So the guy named David R. Magari, I think that's how you pronounce his name, made this game right here. And it's a board game that feels a little bit like Dungeons and Dragons when you play it. So I'm gonna show you this game. It's interesting. It's kind of the part of D&D that for the most part, gets ignored or overlooked or not even noticed in the first place. But it is intriguing, and it came out with all this other stuff. So it's part of original D&D, in my opinion. So anyway, let's take a look at it. Here's the two sets I own. This one's from 1975. I believe it's a first edition, but I have seen another box out there that somebody else was calling a first edition, and the box was wider this way. So I don't know, but I'm pretty sure this is a first edition. And then this is the one that was published in 2014. So I was going to open them up and just kind of show the pieces and compare them to you. So I guess what we should just do first is just open it up and take a look at what's inside. So first things first, it's interesting. They took a sheet of paper, they printed on some sort of plastic, and they turned that into the game board. And it's holding up surprisingly well for, a game that's almost 40 years, right? I tell you what I'm going to do to make this even easier for me to use. I'm going to put it under this plastic sheet. That'll get it to lay down a little flatter. And the way the game begins is you take your guys, right? So I believe these are the original men that came with the set, right? And you just start them here on the beginning spot. And what you want to do is you're going to go around this maze, and you're going to fight monsters and pick up treasure, right? So every room that you go to... So I played the new edition last night. I'm not sure exactly the rules on the old edition, but with the new rules, you move 5 every turn, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're in a room. Okay, and once you get into a room, there's a monster in here. I'm not going to take everything out, but I will just show you things. So these are the monster cards, and every time you go into a room, you look at the monster that's there. Okay, and this time we're playing an elf. You can play like 4 different characters, right? Elf, hero, superhero, and wizard. And this time in this room there's a giant rat, and I know this camera stinks with close-ups, but you're just going to have to believe me. In this room there's a giant rat, and for an elf to beat him, you have to roll a 5 or better on 2 6-sided dice. These aren't the dice that came with the set. When I bought a set of basic D&D off of eBay a long time ago, these came with it. I believe these are the original dice from the basic set, but not particularly for this game. When I got this game, it didn't have any. So anyway, I'm going to roll, and I got to get a 5 or better, right? And wow, it's going to be really hard to read, but that's a 7. You can't see it. When I was a kid, the way we used to use these dice is you'd take a black crayon and you'd rub over the top. And the crayon doesn't stain or stick to the plastic, but there is a little recessed area where the number is, and then the bits of crayon would stick in there, and that's how you would be able to read your dice easier. But anyway, that's a 7. 7's better than or equal to that 5. So yes, I killed him, and then I get a treasure. And then this particular treasure is a sack of gold worth 500 gold pieces. So anyway, that's basically how the game is played. You just move your guy all around this dungeon, right? And you get into fights, and then you gather treasure. And each one of the different character classes, you can be one of 4 different classes. There's wizard, superhero, hero, and elf, right? Each one of these different classes has to collect a different amount of treasure, and if you can collect that much and you bring it back to the center area again, then you win, and that's it, right? I was gonna. What's hard to see, what didn't make sense to me the first time I played this game, is that this whole area is broken up into 6 levels, right? You've got the first level here, and then second, and then third, but then you've got 4th on both sides, and then 5th on both sides, and up here you get 6th. And the higher up the level you go, the harder the monsters get and the bigger the treasure gets. I think the biggest treasure is a huge diamond that is worth 10,000 gold pieces. For an elf, if you can get 10,000 gold pieces of treasure and bring it back, then you win. So just if you hit that one room and you happen to roll the right number, you're going to get it in one shot, but boy, that just rarely happens. So what the thing that kind of made me perplexed a little bit is because I play D&D, and whenever you go into a dungeon, there's always those different levels of dungeon. So here you got 6 levels of dungeon on this board. The thing is, it's all on one big sheet of paper, so it doesn't look like different levels. I always thought it would be nice if they could make a version of this game that looked like Spock's chess set. And then you would go to like level 1, and then if you wanted to go down to level 2, you actually had to go downstairs and go down to the second level. And there'd be a total of 6 levels, and I just thought that'd be best, you know. I thought that'd be more fun. This is good. I mean, it makes it really easy to store and carry and set up and stuff. But still, I thought it'd be nice to have the 6 levels. So anyway, I'm going to take out the new set. I got this new set from... So I picked up this new set recently, and this is from 2014. So it was just recently made. So I'm going to take a look at both of these sets and just kind of compare them. So I guess the first thing I should probably compare is the board. So here's the board in the old 1975 set. And here's how the board has changed in the 2014 set. It's made on a much harder piece of board, and this one's very flexible. You can bend it all you want because it's more or less just plastic laminated paper. But this one is a board that folds out very nicely. I actually really like this board for that part. The part that bugs me is that some of the spaces on the board are actually very small, and it's not uniform how big the spaces are. So sometimes it's hard to know where to put your guy. But what I did notice is that it's basically the same layout, right? So here you start here and you go here to here's first level to second level, and then third on the sides, fourth on the sides, fifth on the sides, and then sixth in the middle. Here it's a little bit different, but it's basically the same. You got the first level around. Oh no, it is the same. First level is right around the center area, and then you go to the second, and then third on the sides, fourth on the sides, fifth on the sides, and sixth in the middle. So anyway, that's the board. So I'm going to talk about the pieces a little bit. So here are the old monster cards, right? And you would put one of these cards on each one of a given level at the start of the game, right? So when the game first began, you would just walk around the board and you would put one of these cards on each one of these little squares, and they fit there, right? And that's not what they do in the new version. That's not what they do in the new version. Instead, you just walk around the board, and as you visit one of these spaces, you pull out the top card of that particular level's monster pile, and if the fight isn't resolved at the end of the turn, then you put that monster card under one of these markers, right? And then you take one of these smaller chips and you put that smaller chip, right, on that room so people can remember what's going on where. And you can have 12 of these encounters happening all at the same time. I played this with some Japanese kids yesterday, and they thought that game was actually kind of a little bit too complex. They didn't quite understand what was going on. I think a lot of people prefer doing it this way. So that's fine. Either's fine for me. I don't mind a little bit of complexity. But I just wanted to show you how the cards have changed over the years, right? So here's what an old monster card looks like, right? And the art is just as simple can be. And then here's what the new monster cards look like. And they're prettier. They're pretty. Honestly speaking, I think they're a little bit harder to understand. They use symbols instead of words, but whatever. This is what a new treasure card looks like. Right? And then I guess I should call it a prize card because that's what they used to call it. Old prize card, right? There's a few more. They also included these markers now. They didn't do it before because when the fight was done, you just take the cards off the table. But when you're using this new set, every time you finish a fight in a given room, then you just put one of these markers on that room saying, oh, the fight there is done. That room is complete. They made a few other changes which I kind of liked. So here's the old magic sword that you could find in the rooms from time to time, and then these are the new ones. And what I've noticed is that, so this is, okay, we'll start with, this is the one from first level, right? And when you catch, when you get a sword from a first level area, there's a chance of it being a +2 sword, right? So you roll two 6-sided dice, and if you happen to get a 12, then it's and you use these markers to show what you have, right? If you roll a 12, it happens to be a +2 sword and not just a +1, which is really cool. But then if you go to like the 6th level and you get the same magic sword, the chances of it being a +2 sword are much greater. You need a 7 or better for it to be a +2 sword. I actually kind of like that. I like that. So this is the old crystal ball. This is the new crystal ball. I'm sorry, my camera is really bad with close-up, so this is as good as you're going to get. Secret entrance card, secret door card. There's also the ESP medallion, but whatever. The spell cards, right? You got fireballs and lightning bolts. And see, nowadays we call it teleporting because that's what the 5th level spell is called, teleport. But in the old game they called it transference. Here's the part about the game that I think I dislike the most, the newest version. These guys, right? When you put them on the board, sometimes they don't stand up so great. And they're big and they're bulky. And some of these spaces are extremely small and they just don't fit on them very well, right? So I don't think it's a step up from the old version. I think these old guys are better. And when I first got this game, what me and my friends did was instead of using their guys, we just pulled out our miniatures and used them to walk around the board with. And that was kind of fun. For the record, I'm not a fanatic about this game. I do really like it, but I'm just trying to be thorough. I'm trying to complete. I'm trying to offer things to people that maybe you can't find other places on the net. I'm trying to do a public service. I'm not weird. Anyway, I thought it would be pretty handy to have a list of all of the different parts and pieces that were in this game and compare it with like the game from 2014. I have each. So I've got here a list of all the different parts and pieces that are in each set. My 2014 set is probably complete. I put it in little plastic bags and such as soon as I got it, just to keep everything from getting lost. But I picked up the 1975 set from Amazon, and it looks like there's a lot of it there, but I'd be really surprised if something wasn't missing. I'm pretty sure the set's incomplete. Like my set, it didn't even come with dice, right? So just if you want to see how complete your set is, you can just compare it with mine. If you want to tell me about any discrepancies, I'd love to hear. One other benefit I've noticed of the old set is that it'll fit in your bookshelf along with all your other gaming stuff just nice. The newer one doesn't fit so nicely. You have to put it on a completely different shelf. This is another thing that I thought was handy. I made this up. I figured out what the odds of rolling any given number or greater are. So when you're playing the game, you can kind of look and see what you're up against. I mean, how hard is it to get a 9 or better? How hard is it to get an 11 or better? And as it turns out, it is actually really hard to get that 12. I mean, you only got like a 2.7% chance of making it. So anyway, I keep one of these cards in each of my sets, and I don't know. I think it makes the game a little bit more interesting. So I think that's all I'm going to say about this. I like old stuff. You know, the new stuff tends to be prettier. I got that, but I really like the old stuff too. It's homegrown stuff, organic. It feels really. It just has a different homegrown, homemade sort of feel to it. I mean, and that's an enjoyable thing. I mean, over the top, completely 100% beautified production values. Okay, fine, that's nice. But I like the homegrown stuff too. I like the new and the old. So I'm not going to tell you which set I prefer. I'm not going to tell you which set I prefer. I like them both, and they both have some value. I mean, if I had either of them, I'd still be enjoying them. And surprisingly, this one, I mean, this board that they got here, it's holding up extremely well for having been used for 40 years. So that's it for today. That's all I'm going to be saying about this. It's a fun little game. It's good for little kids. It's good if you don't want to invest a lot of time learning a new thing. You know, it's just quick and simple and easy, and it was fun. My honest opinion is that the old one's simpler than the new one. Maybe that's the one. If the main attraction of this game is to be simple and quick and easy, I think the old one beats the new one. The new one's a little bit more complex. So you have to decide for yourself. That's it. Thank you. I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot. Bye bye.